I did want to talk for a second about what Paul Finebaum had to say about the Georgia Ohio State game. And this is really important for things moving forward. He said, I was impressed with Georgia because Ohio State played a near perfect game. I have to say, I think he's right. And I don't know that I was, quote, impressed by Georgia, but Ohio State definitely played a near perfect game. And here's what Paul went on to say. He said, there were one or two mistakes at the end, and I thought Ryan Day made a terrible call in that final possession on first down. Other than that, it is the best game Ohio State's played this year, which is totally true. Marvin Harrison Jr. simply all world and got hurt and couldn't come back in the game. Ultimately, those little things were the difference. Georgia defensively was out of sync. They were outmanned most of the game. The most important thing for Georgia is Stetson Bennett. In the fourth quarter, once again in the playoffs, he has come through as brilliantly as anyone in recent history. I mean, no doubt about it. He goes on to say there's a little bit of concern, but a lot to be happy with if you're a Georgia Bulldog. The fact that you survived the best shot you're probably going to get. I mean, we're look. I was starting to think naively, perhaps, that Missouri was going to be the toughest situation that Georgia found itself in. That we can't say, I can't say that anymore. I mean, it was definitely the Ohio State game where um, Georgia had to break its own neck to survive the thing. I mean, it was tough out there, man. I mean, it was the real deal. Ohio State totally lived up to the challenge, but Georgia showed the heart of a champion, showed what this program is really made of, y'all. I mean, you know, I just, Paul and them get so, and I guess we all kind of do this, but Paul gets kind of blamed for it more than anybody. Of this sort of obsession and this constant discussion of Alabama. But after the game, the dog post crew really felt like that was an Alabama type win, a win that we saw almost twice this season from Alabama, over A&M and Texas, where they were not the better team necessarily, but they won. Now Georgia was the better team in the fourth quarter. Okay, that was true, but they were not the bulk of the game. And I mean, it was my take that Kirby got out coached during the start of that game. Well, three quarters. I've been saying three quarters. It might not have been three quarters. It might have been the first half. But that guy, can adjust like crazy, and he, he really was pissed after the game at Stetson. Not like screaming mad and all this stuff. I mean, he did that too, but it was really like, man, we're going to lose this thing if you don't start doing what we need you to do. Um, I wonder how much, like, there's a scene in Mad Men where Pete Campbell, if you've never watched Mad Men, you are stealing from yourself. There's a scene in Mad Men where the main character, Don Draper, is being threatened with being fired, and Pete Campbell is a vice president of the company, and the other vice presidents are threatening him with being fired. Don Draper, and he said, "You do not speak to a racehorse like that, prize racehorse. You do not do that." And he was like pissed. I wonder if, like, you don't want to go nuts on Stetson just because. I think Kirby's right though. And he did go nuts on him. I'll tell you that. We have the photos to prove it. It just takes a long time for us to go through photos. Hey, while you're at it, make sure you're checking out our newsletter. The link is right down below. Sign up. It's free. You're going to miss out on a lot of stories. We can only do so many videos. Our friends at Ticket IQ, I know a lot of y'all watching this are going out there to LA. Make sure, and a lot of y'all are going out there without tickets. The ticket prices have plummeted. Okay. A week ago, the average price to get in was 1600 was $2,400. It has plummeted since then. This is all according to Ticket IQ. I have used Ticket IQ, and I'm not joking there. to buy an event at Mercedes-Benz. I It works. It is easy, and I would give them a try if you're looking around, because I'll tell you, man, some of these ticket brokers, the fees are insane. They're just straight up insane. So Ticket IQ doesn't do that to you. But I just there was plenty to be impressed by with Georgia, and there was plenty to criticize too. Um, they should not get in that position against TCU. I mean, they should not get in that position against TCU. They're the better team. There were reasons why Ohio State did that. They're really good. I mean, that's number one. And the Georgia folks I talked to ahead of that, they warned me, no, they're good. Like, it was one of those things where they weren't going to let you talk Ohio State down. They weren't buying that. I have not talked about TCU to anybody yet. I've been trying to resuscitate, get my voice back if possible. That's been easier said than done. But you know, there was plenty there folks like me who do what I do for a living and really have known Georgia for a long time, not just some beat writer that comes in and has been around a little bit or whatever. I mean, or somebody with their nose in the air all the time. We really have been around. I've really been around the program, and I could tell you, and if you've been a Georgia person, you know that game with Ohio State is going to go down um, as one of the big moments in Georgia history. But it won't be as big if they don't close it out and win. So this is a moment in time that Georgia needs to take advantage of. They need to go in there and and close this thing out. Now, Paul is right to be impressed, but Paul would be right to be slightly critical too, and he kind of was. If you think about it, I mean, here's what he had to say again one more time. There's a little bit of concern, but a lot to be happy about if you're a Georgia Bulldog. The fact that you survived the best shot you're probably going to get. If Ohio State's the best shot the Dogs are going to get, then Georgia's going to win the national championship. My question, okay, is if Ohio State, excuse me, if Texas Christian can play back-to-back games that are not only the best of their season, but probably the best in the last couple of years. They were not a good team a season ago. I think a lot of people know the story of Duggan. Johnson is an amazing receiver. They probably will get their running back. We'll see. But the the way in which Texas Christian won that game, winning games like that twice in a row, if you get that, then they're probably going to win. Okay, the amount of turnovers and the two pick sixes, the turnover on the 1 yard line, just those three things alone, that would be enough to lose a game. I mean, you're basically talking about a swing of 21 points. Now it sounds like I'm trying to put them down. I'm not. I'm explaining what's going on here. So like if Georgia makes the two field goals, Ohio State's going to have to go and get a touchdown to win. They weren't getting a touchdown in my view. They didn't get a touchdown. So um, I just excuse me. I think it's right there for Georgia, and there's a lot on the line for the players and the coaches and everybody, and um, it's right there for Georgia. If the Dogs win it, we'll have something to announce right after the game. If the Dogs win it, Red Zone will be ready for you Tuesday morning. Now, look, I know a lot of y'all watch these videos, even to the end. Like hundreds of thousands of y'all watch these videos. If you're in Metro Atlanta or something like that, drive to Athens on Tuesday or Wednesday and go get a meal. It's gonna be nuts on the weekend, y'all. It's gonna be straight up crazy on the weekend. So go and get a meal and go shop at Red Zone. There's a lot of great shop. It's not just red zone, but they're my friends. So I'm pushing you downtown to red zone, but there's all sorts of quirky shops to go downtown in Athens. We all know this. The question is will the dogs still impress Paul and me and Kirk Herbstreit and all of the haters after Monday night? They're the best team in the country, and they should win this thing, but they got to go do it. Easier said than done.